Hello there, and welcome to The Sleepy Scientist, a place where curiosity slows down and the universe reveals its gentlest processes. Tonight, we turn our attention to stellar nurseries, vast and quiet regions of space where new stars are born slowly, patiently, and without urgency. Before we begin, allow yourself to settle into stillness. Let your shoulders relax, your breathing become soft and unforced, and your thoughts loosen their focus. There is nothing you need to follow closely and nothing you need to remember. This time is simply for listening and rest. Stellar nurseries are not places of sudden creation or dramatic change. They are immense clouds of gas and dust that evolve over millions of years, drifting gently through space. Within them, gravity works slowly, drawing material together in calm, predictable ways, allowing stars to form at their own natural pace. These regions are quiet on a cosmic scale. Temperatures are low, motion is subtle, and changes unfold so gradually that they feel almost still. Light filters softly through the clouds, revealing delicate structures shaped by balance rather than force. As we continue, we will explore relaxing facts about stellar nurseries, how they form, how they remain stable for long periods, and how they quietly give rise to new stars without haste. These reflections are meant to slow the mind, soften attention, and guide your thoughts gently toward rest. If you enjoy these calm journeys through space and gentle science, you're always welcome to subscribe and return whenever you need quiet curiosity or peace. For now, simply listen and allow the slow, steady environment of stellar nurseries to fade softly into the background. Let us begin. Stellar nurseries begin as enormous clouds of gas and dust that drift quietly through galaxies, often spanning hundreds of light years. These clouds are so diffuse that their particles can go years without interacting, creating an environment that feels spacious and calm. Gravity is present, but it works gently, pulling material inwards so slowly that change becomes almost imperceptible when viewed on short timescales. Within a stellar nursery, temperatures remain very low compared to the surfaces of stars. This cool environment allows atoms and molecules to move slowly, reducing collisions and turbulence. Because everything moves at a measured pace, the cloud can remain stable for millions of years, existing as a peaceful region where time seems to stretch outward. The gas inside stellar nurseries is mostly hydrogen, the simplest and lightest element in the universe. Hydrogen atoms drift quietly, occasionally forming molecules that float together without urgency. This simplicity contributes to the calm nature of these regions, where complexity emerges only gradually and never all at once. Dust grains within stellar nurseries are tiny, often smaller than grains of smoke. These particles absorb and scatter light, softening the glow that passes through the cloud. As a result, stellar nurseries often appear dim and muted, wrapped in shadow rather than brightness, which reinforces their quiet and restful character. Star formation. Inside these clouds does not happen everywhere at the same time. Instead, small regions slowly become slightly denser than their surroundings. These denser pockets form gently, without collapse or shock, allowing gravity to guide material inward in a smooth and patient way. As a region within a stellar nursery becomes denser, it does not immediately become a star. It first settles into a long phase of balance, where inward gravity and outward pressure nearly cancel each other out. This balance can last for a very long time, allowing the forming star to remain calm and undisturbed as it slowly gathers mass. Light within stellar nurseries behaves softly. It filters through layers of gas and dust, becoming diffused and gentle. There are no sharp beams or sudden flashes, only a gradual glow that reveals delicate structures shaped by slow motion and steady forces. The vast size of stellar nurseries allows them to exist without disturbance from their surroundings. External influences such as nearby stars or galactic motion take a long time to have any noticeable effect. This isolation helps maintain a sense of stillness, where internal processes unfold without interruption. Stellar nurseries are deeply connected to the rhythm of the galaxy itself. As galaxies rotate slowly, these clouds drift along with them, carried gently through space. This movement is so gradual that the nursery remains intact, preserving its calm environment across immense distances. In the broader story of the universe, stellar nurseries represent patience and continuity. They show that creation does not require urgency or force. New stars emerge quietly, shaped by balance and time, reminding us that even the beginnings of light can arise from stillness and calm. Within stellar nurseries, motion is guided by gravity that works patiently rather than forcefully. Gas does not rush inward, but drifts along gentle curves, responding slowly to small differences in density. This measured movement allows the cloud to remain quiet, with no sudden shifts or disruptions, preserving a sense of calm stability over long periods. Many stellar nurseries are hidden from direct view because their dust absorbs visible light. This darkness is not empty or inactive, but protective, allowing delicate processes to unfold without interference. In this dim environment, matter can gather slowly, sheltered from harsh radiation and external disturbance. The pressure inside a stellar nursery balances gravity for much of its life. Gas pushes outward just enough to counter inward pull, creating a long-lasting state of near stillness. This balance prevents collapse from happening too quickly, ensuring that star formation remains a gradual and peaceful process. Tiny variations in temperature within the cloud spread out slowly rather than creating turbulence. Warmer regions cool gently, while cooler regions warm slightly, allowing the entire nursery to maintain an even, comfortable state. This slow exchange of energy supports the nursery's ability to remain calm and stable. Chemical reactions inside stellar nurseries happen at an unhurried pace. Simple molecules form, drift apart, and reform over long spans of time. These reactions do not release sudden energy but proceed quietly, contributing to the slow enrichment of the cloud without disturbing its stillness. As gas gathers in certain regions, rotation begins very gently. The forming structures spin slowly, conserving angular momentum without creating chaos. This slow rotation helps shape future stars and disks while maintaining the calm character of the surrounding cloud. The soundless nature of stellar nurseries adds to their peaceful quality. In the vacuum of space, no sound travels, so even the movement of vast amounts of gas occurs in complete silence. This absence of noise reinforces the sense of deep quiet that defines these regions. Stellar nurseries often coexist with older stars at a comfortable distance. The light from these stars warms the cloud gently without overwhelming it. This soft illumination can highlight delicate filaments and shapes, revealing structure without disrupting the nursery's slow rhythm. Time within a stellar nursery feels expansive. Millions of years can pass with only subtle changes in shape and density. This extended timescale allows processes to unfold naturally, without pressure to reach completion, creating an environment where patience is built into the fabric of space. Together, these qualities make stellar nurseries places of quiet preparation rather than action. They remind us that beginnings in the universe are not rushed or dramatic, but slow, balanced and calm, unfolding gently within vast clouds that allow creation to take its time. As stellar nurseries continue their quiet existence, the vast clouds within them maintain a delicate balance between motion and rest. Gravity gently encourages gas to draw inward, while thermal pressure offers a soft resistance. This balance does not resolve quickly. Instead, it lingers for millions of years, allowing the cloud to remain suspended in a calm state where nothing is forced and nothing is hurried. Within these clouds, filaments of gas and dust form slowly, stretching and curving like soft threads woven through space. These filaments are not the result of sudden forces, but of gradual shifts in density that unfold over long periods. Their shapes change so slowly that they appear almost fixed, contributing to the nursery's peaceful and stable structure. The dust inside stellar nurseries plays a quiet but important role. By blocking and absorbing harsh light, it creates shaded regions where temperatures stay low and conditions remain gentle. These shaded pockets allow gas to cool further, encouraging calm gathering without turbulence or disruption. As gravity continues its patient work, some regions within the nursery become slightly more compact. Even then, collapse does not happen quickly. Instead, the gas settles into a slow inward drift, adjusting itself carefully as though the cloud is taking time to find the most comfortable arrangement. The chemistry inside stellar nurseries evolves at a relaxed pace. Simple molecules like hydrogen combine slowly into more complex forms, drifting apart and reforming without urgency. These reactions happen quietly, releasing very little energy, preserving the nursery's tranquil environment. Magnetic fields thread softly through stellar nurseries, offering gentle guidance rather than control. They help align gas flows and limit sudden movement, smoothing out motion across large regions. These invisible fields work steadily and subtly, supporting order without creating tension. Light from nearby young stars often illuminates parts of the nursery in a muted glow. This light does not pierce sharply, but diffuses through dust and gas, creating soft gradients and shadows. The result is a calm visual environment where brightness and darkness blend gently together. The scale of stellar nurseries adds to their restful nature. Because they are so vast, any local change becomes diluted across enormous distances. A small increase in density in one area does not disturb the whole, allowing the nursery to maintain overall calm and balance. As galaxies slowly rotate, stellar nurseries drift along with them, carried gently through space. This movement is smooth and predictable, never abrupt. The nursery remains intact, protected by its own size and the slow rhythm of the galactic motion. In this stage of their existence, stellar nurseries embody patience more than action. They are places where preparation unfolds quietly, where matter gathers slowly, and where future stars are allowed to emerge only when conditions align naturally, without urgency or force. As a stellar nursery continues to exist in its long, quiet phase, the gas within it moves with remarkable restraint. Even when gravity gently draws material inward, the motion unfolds slowly, allowing the cloud to remain calm and stable. This slow movement prevents sudden collapse and gives the nursery time to adjust naturally, maintaining a peaceful balance between stillness and change. Within these vast clouds, regions of slightly higher density develop almost unnoticed. These regions do not announce themselves with sudden motion or brightness. Instead, they deepen gradually, allowing surrounding gas to respond at its own pace. This gentle gathering preserves the tranquil atmosphere of the nursery, where nothing happens abruptly. The dust suspended throughout a stellar nursery softens every interaction. By absorbing energetic radiation, it prevents harsh heating and keeps temperatures low. This cooling effect allows gas to move more slowly, reducing internal motion and helping the entire cloud remain settled and quiet for millions of years. Magnetic fields continue to guide motion in subtle ways. Rather than forcing gas into rigid structures, they provide gentle alignment, smoothing flows and reducing turbulence. These invisible influences work quietly in the background, supporting order without ever disturbing the nursery's calm state. As time passes, some regions within the nursery begin to rotate very slowly. This rotation develops naturally as material gathers, conserving momentum without creating stress. The resulting motion is smooth and steady, allowing future stars and disks to form without disrupting the surrounding environment. Light within a stellar nursery remains diffused and muted. Photons scatter gently through layers of gas and dust, creating soft illumination rather than sharp brightness. This subdued light reinforces the feeling of calm, revealing structure without drawing attention or creating contrast. The immense size of stellar nurseries ensures that no single process dominates. Local changes remain local, absorbed by the vastness of the cloud. This scale allows the nursery to remain stable overall, even as small regions slowly evolve toward future star formation. Temperature variations inside the nursery even out over long periods. Warmer pockets cool gradually, while cooler regions warm slightly, preventing extremes. This slow exchange of energy contributes to a consistent, comfortable environment where motion remains restrained. As the nursery drifts gently through its host galaxy, it remains protected by distance and time. External influences take millions of years to have any effect, allowing internal processes to unfold without interruption. This isolation supports the nursery's role as a quiet space for slow creation. In this phase, stellar nurseries continue to embody patience and balance. They demonstrate that the universe allows beginnings to emerge slowly without urgency or force, offering an environment where matter can rest, gather, and prepare for transformation in its own time. As a stellar nursery continues its quiet existence, the cloud settles into a rhythm that feels almost timeless. Gas and dust drift along paths shaped by gravity and pressure that rarely change. This steady rhythm allows the nursery to remain calm, with no sudden events to interrupt the slow unfolding of its internal processes. Within these regions, gravity does not act as a force of collapse, but as a gentle guide. It encourages material to move closer together only when conditions are just right. This guidance is subtle and patient, allowing the cloud to maintain balance for millions of years without rushing toward transformation. The density of gas inside a stellar nursery increases only slightly over long periods. These small changes are enough to influence future star formation, yet gentle enough to preserve the nursery's overall stillness. Nothing shifts dramatically, and the cloud remains a place of quiet preparation rather than activity. Dust grains continue to play a calming role by regulating temperature and light. They absorb energetic radiation and re-emit it slowly, preventing sharp temperature changes. This gradual exchange of energy keeps the environment stable, ensuring that internal motion remains soft and unhurried. The chemical makeup of stellar nurseries grows richer over time, but this enrichment happens slowly. Simple molecules interact gently, forming slightly more complex ones without releasing bursts of energy. These calm reactions add depth to the cloud while preserving its peaceful nature. Magnetic fields maintain their subtle influence, helping gas move in smooth, coordinated ways. Rather than creating tension or turbulence, these fields act like quiet boundaries, limiting sudden motion and encouraging gradual alignment. Their presence supports calm structure throughout the nursery. Light from newly forming stars within or near the nursery spreads gently through the cloud. Instead of piercing sharply, it diffuses softly, illuminating dust and gas in muted tones. This gentle glow enhances the sense of tranquility, revealing beauty without intensity. The enormous scale of stellar nurseries ensures that time feels expansive. Changes that would seem significant on smaller scales become minor within such vast regions. This scale allows the nursery to absorb change effortlessly, maintaining its quiet character even as slow evolution continues. As the nursery drifts through its galaxy, it moves in harmony with larger cosmic motions. Galactic rotation carries it along smoothly, without jolts or disruption. This shared movement reinforces the sense that the nursery belongs naturally within the universe's steady rhythm. In this stage, stellar nurseries remain spaces of calm continuity. They demonstrate that creation in the universe does not require urgency or force. Instead, they show how patience, balance, and gentle guidance allow new stars to emerge slowly, wrapped in stillness and time. As a stellar nursery continues to mature, the balance between gravity and internal pressure remains finely tuned. Gas does not collapse suddenly, but pauses in a long state of near equilibrium. This pause can last for millions of years, allowing the cloud to remain calm and stable, as though the universe itself is comfortable waiting. Within this environment, motion is never hurried. Gas particles drift gently, responding only to subtle shifts in density and temperature. These movements are so slow that they feel more like repositioning than travel, helping the nursery preserve its quiet, spacious character. The dust mixed throughout the cloud continues to soften every interaction. By scattering and absorbing light, it prevents sharp illumination and keeps energy levels low. This gentle filtering creates an atmosphere where nothing feels intense, and all processes unfold at a measured pace. As regions within the nursery grow slightly denser, they do so evenly. Material gathers from all directions without forming sharp boundaries or shock fronts. This smooth accumulation allows future stars to begin forming without disturbing the surrounding cloud, maintaining overall tranquility. Thermal energy within the nursery is released slowly. Warmer areas radiate heat gently into cooler regions, smoothing out differences over long periods. This gradual exchange prevents turbulence and supports a consistent internal climate that favors stillness. Magnetic fields continue their quiet role as stabilizers. They guide gas along broad, curved paths, discouraging sudden motion. Their influence is subtle but persistent, helping the nursery remain orderly without imposing rigidity. Light inside the nursery often arrives indirectly, reflected and diffused through layers of dust. This indirect illumination creates soft gradients rather than bright points, allowing structures to appear gently rather than sharply. The result is a visual calm that mirrors the physical stillness of the cloud. The vastness of stellar nurseries allows them to absorb minor disturbances effortlessly. A small change in one region does not ripple outward with force, but fades into the surrounding space. This ability to absorb change helps the nursery maintain balance across its enormous scale. As the nursery moves slowly through its galaxy, it remains largely untouched by external forces. Galactic tides and nearby stars influence it only gradually, giving the cloud time to adapt without stress. This slow interaction reinforces the nursery's role as a protected environment for quiet formation. In this phase, stellar nurseries continue to demonstrate how the universe favors patience. They show that growth and creation can emerge from long periods of rest, guided by gentle forces and immense time, allowing new stars to be born calmly within clouds that remain peaceful and undisturbed. As a stellar nursery continues through this long and quiet stage, its internal motions become even more restrained. Gas settles into patterns that repeat gently, guided by gravity that has no reason to hurry. These repeating motions create a sense of familiarity within the cloud, where nothing feels new or demanding, and the environment remains deeply calm. Within the nursery, regions that may one day form stars spend vast amounts of time simply existing in balance. Gravity draws inward very slightly, while pressure from the gas pushes outward just enough to pause further change. This extended balance allows the cloud to rest in a state that feels almost timeless, where preparation matters more than progress. Dust continues to play a soothing role by regulating both light and temperature. By absorbing higher energy radiation and releasing it slowly, dust prevents sudden heating or cooling. This steady moderation keeps internal conditions gentle, allowing matter to move and settle without disturbance. The chemistry of the nursery becomes quietly richer during this time. Molecules interact slowly, forming and separating in ways that release little energy. These calm chemical processes add complexity without excitement, supporting the slow evolution of the cloud while preserving its peaceful atmosphere. Magnetic fields remain woven through the nursery like soft threads. Their influence is subtle and steady, helping guide gas along smooth paths and discouraging sharp motion. Rather than forcing structure, these fields gently encourage alignment, reinforcing stability across large regions of the cloud. Light that enters the nursery continues to diffuse softly through layers of gas and dust. Even when nearby stars contribute illumination, that light arrives muted and filtered. This gentle glow reveals structure without contrast, maintaining a visual softness that mirrors the physical stillness of the environment. The immense size of the nursery ensures that time feels stretched. Processes that would seem significant elsewhere unfold here so slowly that they barely register. This scale allows the cloud to absorb change without reaction, maintaining calm even as a gradual evolution continues. As the nursery drifts through its galaxy, its motion remains smooth and predictable. Galactic rotation carries it gently along, without sudden forces or interruptions. This shared movement reinforces the sense that the nursery belongs naturally within the galaxy's long, steady rhythm. Internal temperature differences continue to smooth out over long periods. Heat flows slowly from warmer regions to cooler ones, reducing gradients and preventing turbulence. This gradual balancing supports the nursery's ability to remain quiet and composed. In this stage, stellar nurseries stand as examples of cosmic patience. They show that the universe allows long pauses between beginnings, giving matter time to rest, gather, and align naturally. Within these vast, quiet clouds, future stars are prepared not through urgency, but through stillness, balance, and time. As a stellar nursery moves deeper into its long, quiet life, the cloud becomes increasingly settled, as though every part of it has learned how to remain at ease. Gas drifts slowly along paths shaped by gravity and pressure that rarely change. This repeated motion creates a sense of calm familiarity, where nothing feels unexpected and nothing requires adjustment. Within these vast clouds, the slow gathering of material continues without urgency. Regions that may one day form stars spend immense amounts of time in a balanced state, gently supported by pressure from the surrounding gas. This balance allows the nursery to pause comfortably, existing in a state where preparation quietly outweighs action. The dust spread throughout the nursery continues to soften the environment. By absorbing energetic light and releasing it gradually, dust prevents sharp changes in temperature or brightness. This slow exchange of energy keeps conditions stable, allowing the cloud to remain calm and evenly tempered across enormous distances. Magnetic fields remain present as subtle guides rather than controlling forces. They encourage gas to move along smooth, curved paths, limiting sudden shifts in direction. Their influence is gentle and constant, helping the nursery maintain order without introducing tension or motion that would disturb its stillness. Light entering the nursery arrives filtered and diffused, softened by layers of gas and dust. Even when nearby stars contribute illumination, that light spreads gently, creating soft gradients instead of sharp contrasts. This muted glow preserves the tranquil atmosphere, revealing structure without intensity. The scale of stellar nurseries allows them to absorb small changes effortlessly. A slight increase in density or temperature in one region does not ripple outward with force. Instead, it fades quietly into the surrounding space, allowing the nursery to maintain its overall sense of calm and balance. As time passes, the cloud's internal chemistry continues to evolve slowly. Molecules form, separate, and reform over long spans of time, releasing very little energy. These quiet chemical changes add richness to the cloud while preserving its peaceful nature. The nursery's movement through its galaxy remains smooth and predictable. Carried along by slow galactic rotation, it experiences no sudden shifts or disruptions. This gentle motion reinforces the feeling that the nursery belongs naturally within the larger, steady rhythm of the universe. Temperature differences within the nursery continue to even out gradually. Heat flows slowly from slightly warmer areas to cooler ones, reducing contrasts and preventing turbulence. This steady balancing supports an environment where motion remains restrained and calm. In this phase, stellar nurseries feel less like places of becoming and more like places of rest. They hold the promise of future stars without rushing toward creation, demonstrating that the universe allows growth to emerge quietly, supported by balance, patience, and immense spans of time. As a stellar nursery continues through this extended period of quiet stability, its internal structure becomes even more refined by time. Gas and dust settle into long-lasting arrangements that change so slowly they feel permanent. These arrangements are not rigid or fixed, but gently maintained by balance, allowing the cloud to exist without tension or urgency. Within the nursery, gravity remains present but restrained. It draws material inward only when conditions allow, never forcing movement. This gentle guidance ensures that matter gathers gradually, preserving the calm atmosphere and allowing regions to remain suspended in preparation for long stretches of time. Dust continues to soften the nursery's environment by shaping how energy moves through it. By absorbing higher energy radiation and releasing it slowly, dust keeps temperatures from rising suddenly. This moderation prevents agitation within the cloud, maintaining a steady and comfortable internal climate. Magnetic fields persist as quiet companions to gravity. They influence motion subtly, encouraging alignment without restriction. These fields smooth gas flows and limit turbulence, reinforcing the nursery's sense of calm while allowing natural structure to emerge gently. Light within the nursery remains diffused and indirect. Photons scatter softly through layers of gas and dust, creating gentle illumination rather than sharp brightness. This subdued light allows forms and filaments to appear gradually, preserving the nursery's tranquil visual character. The immense scale of stellar nurseries allows them to exist largely undisturbed by external events. Nearby stars, supernova remnants, or galactic tides influence them only slowly. This isolation grants the nursery time to adapt without stress, maintaining its quiet internal rhythm. Chemical processes continue at a relaxed pace. Molecules interact slowly, forming complex structures over long periods without releasing sudden energy. These calm reactions enrich the cloud gradually, adding depth without disturbing its stillness. As the nursery drifts through its galaxy, it remains protected by its own size and the slow pace of galactic motion. This movement feels more like gentle transport than travel, allowing the cloud to remain intact and peaceful as it moves through space. Temperature differences within the nursery continue to smooth out over time. Heat flows gently from warmer regions to cooler ones, preventing extremes. This steady balancing supports an environment where motion stays restrained and calm. In this stage, stellar nurseries embody a deep sense of patience. They exist as quiet spaces where matter is allowed to rest and align naturally, showing that the universe values preparation and balance as much as creation, and that even the beginnings of stars are born from long, peaceful stillness. As a stellar nursery approaches this later stage of its long, quiet existence, the cloud feels deeply settled into its role as a place of gentle preparation. Gas and dust move along paths that have been traced for millions of years, guided by forces that rarely change. This familiarity creates an environment where motion feels soft and expected, allowing the nursery to remain calm without needing adjustment. Gravity continues to work patiently, encouraging material to gather only when conditions align naturally. It does not rush the process or demand collapse. Instead, it allows regions within the cloud to linger in balance, sometimes for longer than the entire history of human civilization, preserving a sense of deep stillness. Dust remains a constant calming influence, regulating how energy flows through the cloud. By absorbing and slowly releasing radiation, dust prevents sharp changes in temperature or brightness. This steady moderation keeps internal conditions gentle, ensuring that nothing within the nursery is startled into sudden motion. Magnetic fields persist as quiet stabilizers woven through the cloud. Their presence smooths gas flows and limits turbulence, without enforcing rigid structure. These subtle fields help maintain order while allowing the nursery to remain open, flexible, and calm. Light within the nursery continues to arrive indirectly, filtered through thick layers of gas and dust. Even when nearby stars contribute illumination, that light spreads softly, creating muted tones rather than bright points. This gentle glow preserves the tranquil visual character of the cloud, where shapes emerge slowly and without contrast. Chemical activity within the nursery remains slow and deliberate. Molecules form and reform over long periods, releasing little energy as they do. These reactions quietly enrich the cloud, adding complexity while preserving the calm environment that allows preparation to continue undisturbed. The vast scale of the nursery ensures that small changes never feel overwhelming. A slight increase in density or temperature in one region is absorbed by the surrounding space, fading gently rather than spreading forcefully. This ability to soften change allows the cloud to maintain overall balance. As the nursery drifts through its galaxy, it remains carried by slow, predictable motion. Galactic rotation moves it gently along without sudden forces. This shared movement reinforces the sense that the nursery belongs naturally within the larger cosmic rhythm. Temperature differences within the cloud continue to even out over immense spans of time. Heat flows slowly and steadily, preventing extremes and supporting a consistent internal climate. This gradual balancing keeps motion restrained and preserves the nursery's peaceful state. In this final stretch of quiet preparation, stellar nurseries stand as reminders that the universe allows beginnings to emerge without urgency. They show that stars are born not from haste or force, but from patience, balance, and long periods of rest, where matter is given time to settle gently before light begins anew. As a stellar nursery continues beyond its earliest cycles of preparation, the cloud enters a phase where stability feels deeply rooted. Gas and dust no longer shift in noticeable ways, but remain suspended in patterns shaped long ago. These patterns repeat gently, reinforcing the sense that the nursery has settled into a comfortable, enduring state. Gravity remains present but restrained, guiding matter only when the surrounding conditions allow it to move naturally. Rather than pulling material inward forcefully, gravity waits, maintaining balance for long stretches of time. This patience allows regions within the cloud to remain calm and undisturbed, preserving the nursery's quiet character. Dust continues to regulate the flow of energy throughout the cloud. By absorbing energetic radiation and releasing it slowly, dust prevents sudden changes in temperature. This steady moderation ensures that internal motion remains soft, helping the nursery maintain a consistent and peaceful internal environment. Magnetic fields persist as subtle threads woven through the cloud. Their influence is quiet and continuous, guiding gas along smooth paths and reducing turbulence. These invisible structures support order without rigidity, allowing the nursery to remain flexible yet stable over immense spans of time. Light within the nursery remains diffused and gentle. Photons scatter softly through layers of gas and dust, creating muted illumination rather than sharp brightness. This softened light reveals structure slowly, allowing filaments and pockets to appear without contrast or intensity. Chemical processes continue at an unhurried pace. Molecules form, separate, and reform over long periods, releasing very little energy. These calm interactions gradually enrich the cloud, adding complexity without disrupting the stillness that defines the nursery. The immense scale of the stellar nursery ensures that even meaningful internal changes unfold quietly. A gradual increase in density in one region does not disturb the entire cloud. Instead, it is absorbed by the surrounding space, allowing balance to remain intact across vast distances. As the nursery moves gently through its host galaxy, it remains largely untouched by external events. Galactic tides and nearby stars influence it only over millions of years, giving the cloud time to adapt without stress. This slow interaction preserves the nursery's role as a protected space for calm development. Temperature variations within the nursery continue to smooth out over long time scales. Heat flows gradually from warmer regions to cooler ones, preventing extremes. This steady balancing supports an environment where motion remains restrained and peaceful. In this extended phase, stellar nurseries reveal their deepest nature as places of quiet endurance. They show that creation in the universe is not rushed, but prepared through long periods of rest and balance, where matter is allowed to remain calm until the moment when new stars are ready to emerge naturally. As a stellar nursery continues into this later span of its long existence, the cloud feels increasingly settled, as though every internal process has found a pace that no longer needs adjustment. Gas and dust remain suspended in gentle balance, guided by forces that change so slowly they feel almost constant. This steadiness allows the nursery to exist without tension, maintaining a calm presence over immense stretches of time. Gravity continues to act with restraint, encouraging material to gather only when conditions align naturally. It does not pull sharply or demand movement. Instead, it allows matter to linger in quiet equilibrium, supporting long periods of rest when nothing needs to happen for balance to be preserved. Dust within the nursery maintains its role as a soft regulator of energy. By absorbing radiation and releasing it gradually, dust prevents sudden heating or cooling. This gentle moderation keeps the internal environment comfortable and even, allowing the cloud to remain peaceful and undisturbed. Magnetic fields persist as subtle guides woven through the cloud. Their influence is steady and quiet, shaping motion without forcing direction. These fields smooth the flow of gas and limit turbulence, reinforcing the nursery's calm structure while allowing flexibility to remain. Light that enters the nursery continues to arrive filtered and diffused. Passing through layers of gas and dust, it becomes soft and muted, revealing structure without sharp contrast. This gentle illumination supports a visual stillness that mirrors the physical calm of the cloud itself. Chemical activity inside the nursery unfolds slowly and quietly. Molecules interact over long periods, forming and reforming without releasing bursts of energy. These calm processes enrich the cloud gradually, adding complexity while preserving the sense of rest that defines the environment. The vast scale of the nursery ensures that internal changes remain localized and gentle. Even when certain regions slowly become denser, the surrounding cloud absorbs the change effortlessly. This ability to soften transitions allows the nursery to maintain balance across enormous distances. As the nursery drifts through its galaxy, its motion remains smooth and predictable. Galactic rotation carries it gently along, without sudden shifts or interruptions. This shared movement reinforces the sense that the nursery belongs naturally within the larger, steady rhythm of cosmic motion. Temperature differences within the cloud continue to smooth out over long spans of time. Heat flows slowly and evenly, preventing extremes and maintaining a stable internal climate. This gradual balancing supports an environment where motion remains restrained and calm. In this stage, stellar nurseries stand as quiet examples of endurance and patience. They show that the universe allows preparation to unfold without urgency, giving matter the time it needs to rest, align, and settle naturally until the conditions for new stars arrive gently, without force or haste. As a stellar nursery continues through this extended chapter of quiet existence, the cloud feels increasingly at ease with itself. Gas and dust maintain arrangements that have been shaped gradually over millions of years, changing so slowly that motion becomes almost indistinguishable from rest. This sense of ease allows the nursery to persist without disruption, held together by balance rather than activity. Gravity remains a gentle presence, never insisting on immediate change. It allows matter to remain loosely connected, encouraging slow gathering only when conditions are naturally aligned. This patient influence supports long periods of stillness, where preparation quietly outweighs movement. Dust continues to soften every interaction within the nursery. By absorbing energetic light and releasing it gradually, it prevents sharp temperature shifts that could disturb the cloud. This steady regulation keeps the internal environment calm, allowing gas to drift without agitation. Magnetic fields remain woven subtly through the nursery, guiding motion without force. Their influence smooths gas flows and discourages sudden shifts, acting as quiet stabilizers rather than controlling structures. These invisible patterns help maintain order while preserving flexibility and calm. Light inside the nursery remains muted and diffused. Passing through layers of gas and dust, it loses intensity and sharpness, becoming a soft glow that reveals structure gently. This subdued illumination reinforces the nursery's peaceful character, where nothing demands attention. Chemical processes continue at a relaxed pace, unfolding over long spans of time. Molecules form, separate, and reform quietly, releasing little energy as they do. These calm reactions gradually enrich the cloud, adding complexity without disturbing its stillness. The immense size of the stellar nursery allows it to absorb change without reaction. Local variations in density or temperature fade gently into the surrounding space, preventing ripple effects. This capacity to soften change helps the nursery remain balanced across vast distances. As the nursery drifts through its host galaxy, it remains carried by smooth, predictable motion. Galactic rotation moves it gently along, without jolts or interruptions. This steady movement reinforces the sense that the nursery belongs naturally within the galaxy's slow rhythm. Temperature differences within the cloud continue to even out gradually. Heat flows slowly from warmer regions to cooler ones, preventing extremes and supporting a consistent internal climate. This gentle balancing maintains an environment where motion stays restrained. In this phase, stellar nurseries reveal their role as places of deep patience. They show that the universe allows long pauses before creation, where matter is given time to rest and align naturally. Within these vast, quiet clouds, the future is prepared calmly, without urgency, guided only by balance and time. As a stellar nursery continues into this later stretch of its long and patient life, the cloud feels increasingly settled into a quiet familiarity. Gas and dust no longer appear to shift in noticeable ways, but remain arranged in gentle patterns shaped slowly over immense spans of time. These patterns persist without tension, allowing the nursery to exist comfortably within the steady balance of the galaxy. Gravity remains present as a calm influence rather than a force of action. It encourages matter to remain loosely connected, holding regions together without demanding collapse. This gentle guidance allows the cloud to linger in preparation, where nothing needs to happen quickly and nothing is required to change. Dust. Throughout the nursery continues its soft work of moderation. By absorbing energetic radiation and releasing it slowly, it prevents sudden changes in temperature that could disturb the cloud. This gradual exchange of energy maintains a stable internal environment, where motion remains slow and evenly distributed. Magnetic fields remain quietly woven through the cloud, shaping motion without enforcing direction. Their influence smooths the flow of gas, discouraging sharp turns or turbulence. These unseen structures support long-term stability while allowing the nursery to remain open and calm. Light within the nursery continues to arrive filtered and subdued. As it passes through layers of gas and dust, becomes a gentle glow rather than a sharp beam. This softened illumination reveals structure gradually, preserving the nursery's tranquil visual character. Chemical processes unfold slowly and without excitement. Molecules interact over long periods, forming and reforming in ways that release very little energy. These quiet reactions enrich the cloud gently, adding complexity while preserving its peaceful state. The vast size of the nursery allows it to absorb small internal changes effortlessly. A slow increase in density in one region does not disturb the whole. Instead, the surrounding space accommodates the change naturally, allowing balance to remain intact across enormous distances. As the nursery drifts through its galaxy, its motion remains smooth and predictable. Carried by slow galactic rotation, it experiences no sudden forces or interruptions. This shared movement reinforces the sense that the nursery belongs naturally within the universe's steady rhythm. Temperature differences within the cloud continue to smooth out over long timescales. Heat flows gently from warmer regions to cooler ones, preventing extremes and maintaining a calm internal climate. This steady balancing supports an environment where motion remains restrained and quiet. In this phase, stellar nurseries feel less like places of becoming and more like places of rest. They hold the quiet promise of future stars without rushing toward creation, showing that the universe allows beginnings to emerge gently, supported by patience, balance, and deep stillness. As a stellar nursery continues through this later phase of its long existence, the cloud feels deeply settled, as though every part of it has learned how to remain at ease. Gas and dust hold their positions gently, guided by forces that change so slowly they feel almost constant. This quiet stability allows the nursery to persist without tension, existing comfortably within the steady flow of cosmic time. Gravity continues to act with remarkable patience. Rather than drawing material inward with urgency, it allows matter to remain loosely gathered, hovering in balance for vast stretches of time. This restraint ensures that nothing collapses suddenly, preserving the nursery as a place of calm preparation rather than rapid transformation. Dust remains an essential softening presence throughout the cloud. By absorbing energetic light and releasing it gradually, dust smooths out temperature differences that might otherwise disturb the environment. This slow regulation of energy helps the nursery maintain a gentle internal climate, where motion remains subdued and even. Magnetic fields continue their quiet influence, threading through the cloud like invisible currents. Their role is not to force structure, but to guide motion subtly, reducing turbulence and encouraging smooth, continuous flows. These unseen supports help the nursery remain orderly, without ever breaking its sense of calm. Light within the nursery continues to be filtered and diffused. As it passes through layers of gas and dust, it becomes softer and more muted, revealing shapes and filaments without sharp contrast. This gentle illumination reinforces the feeling of stillness, allowing structure to emerge slowly and without emphasis. Chemical activity inside the nursery unfolds at an unhurried pace. Molecules interact over long periods, forming and separating quietly, releasing little energy as they do. These calm processes enrich the cloud gradually, adding complexity without disturbing the restful environment. The immense scale of the stellar nursery allows it to absorb internal changes effortlessly. A slight shift in density or temperature in one region fades gently into the surrounding space, preventing ripple effects. This capacity to soften change helps the nursery maintain balance across vast distances. As the nursery drifts through its host galaxy, its motion remains smooth and predictable. Galactic rotation carries it gently along, without sudden forces or interruptions. This shared movement reinforces the sense that the nursery belongs naturally within the universe's slow, steady rhythm. Temperature differences within the cloud continue to even out gradually. Heat flows gently from warmer regions to cooler ones, preventing extremes and maintaining a consistent internal climate. This steady balancing supports an environment where motion remains restrained and calm. In this stage, stellar nurseries stand as quiet symbols of patience within the universe. They show that creation is prepared through long periods of rest and balance, where matter is allowed to settle naturally. Within these vast, tranquil clouds, future stars are not rushed into existence, but invited to form gently, guided by time, stillness, and enduring harmony. Within stellar nurseries, even the smallest motions are governed by balance rather than urgency. Individual atoms and molecules drift through vast spaces, sometimes travelling for years without interaction. This spaciousness allows the cloud to feel open and calm, where movement exists without pressure and nothing needs to arrive anywhere quickly. The gravity within a stellar nursery often works collectively rather than locally. Instead of pulling material sharply toward one point, it encourages broad regions to remain loosely connected. This collective influence prevents sudden collapse and supports a long-lasting state of gentle cohesion across the cloud. Dust grains inside stellar nurseries act as quiet timekeepers of energy. When they absorb light, they do not release it immediately. Instead, they warm slightly and radiate energy back into space slowly, stretching moments of interaction into long, calm exchanges that help preserve thermal balance. Many stellar nurseries exist in relative isolation from violent cosmic events. Their location within spiral arms or quieter galactic regions allows them to remain undisturbed for long periods. This isolation gives the cloud uninterrupted time to evolve gently without being forced into rapid change. The internal pressure of gas within stellar nurseries responds gradually to change. If a region becomes slightly denser, pressure increases just enough to slow further compression. This self-regulating response allows the cloud to hover in equilibrium, reinforcing the nursery's naturally calming stability. Light that eventually escapes from within a stellar nursery often does so after long delays. Photons may scatter many times through dust and gas before leaving the cloud. This extended journey softens their energy and spreads it out over time, creating a glow that feels gentle rather than direct. The formation of filaments within stellar nurseries happens slowly and quietly. These elongated structures emerge as gas responds to subtle gravitational and magnetic influences. Their shapes develop over long periods, forming delicate patterns that reflect patience rather than force. Temperature within stellar nurseries remains remarkably uniform over large areas. Any local warming spreads outward gradually, preventing sharp gradients. This evenness contributes to the sense of calm, allowing matter to remain relaxed and motion to stay restrained. As stellar nurseries age, they often become more stable rather than less. Early turbulence fades, leaving behind smoother flows and clearer balance between forces. This settling process reinforces the nursery's role as a long-term environment of rest and preparation. In the universe's vast timeline, stellar nurseries occupy a space where waiting is not empty. They show that stillness itself is a form of activity, where matter aligns quietly and possibilities are held gently. Within these clouds, nothing is rushed, and everything is allowed the time it needs to become ready. Within stellar nurseries, the spacing between particles is so vast that interactions happen infrequently, allowing the cloud to feel spacious and unhurried. Atoms drift through these regions, with wide margins of emptiness between them, creating an environment where movement exists without crowding. This spaciousness contributes to the nursery's calm nature, where nothing is compressed or forced, and motion unfolds gently. The balance between gravity and pressure inside a stellar nursery often settles into a long-lasting pause. When gravity encourages gas to gather, internal pressure responds slowly, pushing back just enough to slow further change. This delicate balance can persist for millions of years, creating a state where the cloud rests comfortably between motion and stillness. Dust within stellar nurseries continues to shape the experience of time by slowing the passage of energy. When dust absorbs light, it does not release it immediately. Instead, it warms slightly and radiates energy away gradually, turning brief interactions into long, drawn-out exchanges that support a stable and gentle environment. Many stellar nurseries are shaped by their location within a galaxy. Positioned in spiral arms or quieter regions, they experience slow, predictable motion rather than sudden disturbances. This placement allows the cloud to remain intact over long periods, drifting peacefully as the galaxy itself rotates at a measured pace. The internal structure of a stellar nursery often becomes smoother as time passes. Early irregularities fade as gas redistributes itself evenly. This natural smoothing reduces turbulence and reinforces the sense of calm, allowing the cloud to settle into a more uniform and relaxed state. Light inside a stellar nursery often takes indirect paths. Photons may scatter many times off dust and gas before escaping, extending their journey and reducing intensity. This repeated scattering softens illumination, creating a diffuse glow that feels gentle and unhurried rather than bright or demanding. The slow formation of dense cores within stellar nurseries reflects the universe's preference for patience. These regions gather material over long periods, adjusting continuously to internal conditions. Even as they grow denser, they remain balanced, allowing preparation to continue without disruption. Temperature regulation within stellar nurseries remains remarkably steady. Any increase in heat spreads outward gradually, preventing sharp contrasts. This slow diffusion keeps the internal climate even and comfortable, reducing motion and supporting long-term stability. Magnetic fields inside stellar nurseries often weaken turbulence rather than create it. By guiding charged particles along smooth paths, they help dampen sudden movements. This calming influence supports the nursery's overall stillness, allowing gas to move in broad, gentle flows. In the broader story of the universe, stellar nurseries represent a quiet interval between past and future light. They hold matter gently, neither collapsing nor dispersing quickly. Within these vast clouds, the universe demonstrates that waiting itself can be a state of balance, where calm preparation becomes the foundation for everything that will eventually shine. Within stellar nurseries, even the passage of time feels softened by scale. What appears still on a human timeline is, in reality, a slow and continuous process unfolding over millions of years. This vast timescale allows every change to be gentle, giving the cloud a calm, unhurried presence that feels almost timeless. The gas inside stellar nurseries often exists in a state close to balance, where inward and outward forces nearly cancel each other. This near balance allows regions of the cloud to pause comfortably, neither collapsing nor dispersing, resting quietly as conditions evolve at their own natural pace. Dust grains drifting through these nurseries rarely collide. The distances between them are so large that encounters are uncommon, reinforcing the sense of spaciousness. This lack of crowding allows motion to remain slow and relaxed, contributing to the nursery's peaceful character. Stellar nurseries often appear dark against the background of space because they absorb light rather than emit it. This darkness is not empty or inactive, but protective, creating a sheltered environment where delicate processes can unfold without disturbance or intensity. Gravity within a stellar nursery acts collectively across vast regions rather than sharply at a single point. This broad influence encourages gentle gathering without sudden collapse, supporting an environment where preparation happens slowly and calmly. The temperature inside stellar nurseries changes very little over time. Extreme heat or cold is rare, and energy moves gradually from one region to another. This thermal steadiness helps keep motion restrained and preserves the cloud's quiet equilibrium. Light that eventually emerges from a stellar nursery has often spent a long time inside it, scattering repeatedly through gas and dust. By the time it escapes, it carries the softness of that long journey, emerging as a gentle glow rather than a sharp signal. As stellar nurseries age, their internal motions often become smoother. Early irregularities fade, leaving behind broad, flowing patterns that change slowly. This natural settling deepens the sense of calm and stability within the cloud. The surrounding galaxy often treats stellar nurseries gently. Large-scale forces such as galactic rotation act slowly, allowing the nursery to drift without disruption. This cooperation between cloud and galaxy reinforces the nursery's peaceful existence. Taken together, these qualities show stellar nurseries as places where stillness is meaningful. They are not empty pauses, but quiet spaces of alignment and balance, where the universe allows matter to rest, gather, and prepare calmly before the first light of new stars begins. Within stellar nurseries, the emptiness between particles is as important as the matter itself. Vast spaces separate atoms and dust grains, allowing motion to occur without friction or crowding. This openness creates an environment where nothing presses against anything else, and movement feels more like drifting than travelling. The gravity inside a stellar nursery rarely acts alone. It works alongside pressure, temperature, and magnetic influence, creating a quiet conversation between forces rather than a struggle. This cooperation allows the cloud to remain suspended in balance, where no single influence dominates or overwhelms the others. Dust grains inside these nurseries often carry thin layers of frozen molecules on their surfaces. These icy coatings form slowly in the cold environment, building up over time without releasing energy. This gradual accumulation contributes to chemical richness while preserving the nursery's calm thermal state. Stellar nurseries often exist for longer than the stars they eventually produce. While stars may live for millions or billions of years, the cloud that formed them can persist even longer, continuing its quiet role as a place of preparation long after light has emerged elsewhere. The internal motion of gas within a stellar nursery tends to smooth itself out over time. Faster movements gradually slow, while slower regions gently align with the overall flow. This natural damping of motion allows the cloud to become increasingly calm as it ages. Light inside a stellar nursery rarely travels in straight lines. Instead, it wanders, scattering softly from particle to particle. This wandering stretches the experience of illumination across time, turning brief emissions into extended, gentle glows that never feel sharp or demanding. Temperature stability within stellar nurseries is maintained by slow radiative cooling. Energy escapes gradually, allowing the cloud to remain cold and calm. This slow release prevents internal agitation and helps preserve the nursery's long-lived stillness. The size of stellar nurseries allows them to absorb small disturbances without reaction. Minor gravitational nudges or energy inputs fade quietly into this cloud's vastness. This ability to soften influence helps maintain equilibrium over immense spans of time. As stellar nurseries drift through their galaxies, they often follow paths shaped by ancient gravitational patterns. These paths repeat slowly, reinforcing predictability and allowing the cloud to remain aligned with the galaxy's gentle rotation. In their deepest nature, stellar nurseries are places where nothing is missing and nothing is required. They exist in a state of readiness rather than action, showing that the universe allows creation to rest quietly before it begins, held gently within balanced space and time. Within stellar nurseries, silence is not the absence of activity, but the natural state of an environment where motion unfolds too slowly to be perceived. Gas drifts, dust settles, and gravity guides everything with such patience that the entire region feels suspended in calm, as if the universe has chosen to pause here. The balance inside a stellar nursery is maintained by countless small adjustments rather than large changes. When a region becomes slightly denser, surrounding gas responds gently, redistributing itself over long periods. These adjustments happen so smoothly that the cloud never feels disturbed, only quietly maintained. Dust grains within these nurseries often align themselves slowly with magnetic fields. This alignment happens without force, over long stretches of time, creating subtle order that supports stability. The process is quiet and gradual, reinforcing the sense that structure in the universe can emerge without urgency. The cold temperatures of stellar nurseries slow nearly every physical process. Atoms move more gently, reactions take longer, and energy spreads slowly. This coldness is not harsh, but soothing, allowing the cloud to remain calm and conserving its structure for millions of years. Stellar nurseries often contain regions that will never form stars at all. These areas remain diffuse and relaxed, serving as quiet space that supports the rest of the cloud. Their presence shows that not every part of the universe needs to transform to be meaningful. Light that passes through a stellar nursery becomes softer with each interaction. Scattering and absorption reduce intensity, turning bright sources into gentle illumination. This gradual softening mirrors the nursery's physical calm, where nothing remains sharp or demanding. The motion of gas within these clouds often resembles slow breathing rather than flow. Regions gently expand and contract over long periods, responding to subtle changes in pressure and temperature. This rhythmic motion adds to the sense of restfulness, as if the cloud is calmly sustaining itself. Over time, stellar nurseries develop internal coherence, where different regions move in broadly similar ways. This coherence reduces internal conflict and turbulence, allowing the cloud to feel unified rather than fragmented. The result is a deep sense of stability across vast distances. The surrounding darkness of space plays an important role in preserving stellar nurseries. With little external radiation or disturbance, the cloud remains protected, allowing internal processes to proceed quietly. This surrounding emptiness acts like a cushion, absorbing influence before it can reach the nursery. In the grand timeline of the universe, stellar nurseries represent a gentle interval between eras of light. They hold matter patiently, neither rushing toward creation nor dissolving into emptiness, showing that rest itself is a meaningful and necessary part of cosmic existence. Within stellar nurseries, the vast distances between particles allow gravity to work without urgency. Matter responds slowly, as though it has all the time it needs, creating an environment where movement never feels pressured and stillness becomes the natural state. The clouds that form stellar nurseries often span such great sizes that light can take years to cross them. This immense scale softens every process inside, stretching change across time and allowing the nursery to remain calm even as subtle evolution continues. Gas inside these regions frequently settles into gentle layers, where denser material rests quietly alongside lighter regions. These layers do not collide or mix suddenly, but remain softly arranged, preserving balance without disturbance. Dust within stellar nurseries slowly collects faint electric charges, influencing how particles interact. These effects are extremely subtle, unfolding over long periods, adding quiet structure without introducing motion or noise. The internal pressure of a stellar nursery responds smoothly to change. When gravity pulls inward slightly, pressure answers just enough to slow further movement. This continuous conversation between forces keeps the cloud suspended in calm equilibrium. Many stellar nurseries exist far from violent cosmic events, allowing them to remain undisturbed for millions of years. This isolation grants the cloud uninterrupted time to rest and prepare, reinforcing its peaceful nature. Light from distant stars often reaches a stellar nursery already weakened by distance. As it passes through the cloud, it becomes even softer, creating an atmosphere where illumination feels gentle and never intrusive. The slow rotation of some stellar nurseries develops over long spans of time. This motion is subtle and evenly distributed, preventing stress within the cloud and supporting long-term stability. Energy within stellar nurseries tends to disperse evenly rather than collect in one place. This even distribution prevents hotspots or rapid motion, allowing the environment to remain cool and composed. Taken together, these qualities make stellar nurseries places where balance is preserved through patience. They show that the universe often chooses calm preparation over rapid change, allowing future stars to emerge gently from environments shaped by stillness and time. As this gentle journey through stellar nurseries begins to fade into quiet, there is nothing left to follow and nothing left to understand. These vast clouds will continue their slow work on their own, drifting through galaxies, gathering matter patiently and allowing time to pass without concern. You may notice your thoughts becoming softer now, less defined, like light diffusing through layers of gas and dust. That softening is natural. Just as stellar nurseries do not hurry toward creation, the mind does not need to reach any destination. Everything can remain open and unfinished. Let your breathing stay easy and unforced. Let your body rest exactly as it is, supported by stillness rather than effort. Imagine yourself floating within those immense clouds, where motion is gentle and change unfolds so slowly it feels like rest. Stellar nurseries remind us that beginnings do not need urgency, and growth does not require noise. Even the birthplaces of stars exist first as places of calm, balance, and long preparation. In that quiet preparation, rest feels natural. Thank you for spending this time with the Sleepy Scientist. Whenever curiosity feels heavy or the world feels loud, you're always welcome to return to these peaceful explorations, where science moves slowly and nothing demands attention. For now, allow the calm to remain. Let the clouds continue drifting beyond awareness, and let whatever comes next arrive gently, in its own time, without needing to be noticed at all.